hope you guys are keeping up. We still have 2 great startups to go. Our next contestant is Danny Glushenkov from Project M. Project M aims to reduce clinical and economic variation in inpatient setting with proprietary technology utilizing AI and causal inference models. Good luck, Danny.
Thank you. So hi, my name is Danny Glushenkov from Project M. I'm the co-CEO. And we're going to try to deal with what we see as a major problem of medicine. But in order to deal with the major problem of medicine, we need a strong team to be able to tackle it. So we build a strong team. Our team has jointly more than 100 years of specific healthcare data, and we're also supported by 2 strong advisors, Professor Daniel Nevo and Professor Eran Segel. So we all know that being hospitalized is scary, it's frustrating, and it's confusing. Hospitals are aware of that fact, and they're trying to minimize the experience, but also to achieve the best possible clinical outcomes while reducing the cost as much as possible. And we at Project M ask ourselves the question, what if we could provide the best clinical pathway to the hospital while achieving the desired economic outcomes and also outperforming human abilities? In order to do that, we need to go to the root of the matter, which is the clinical variance. And it stems from the way how clinicians and physicians make clinical decisions. So when clinical decisions are made, they're usually being influenced by various factors. The clinician's educational background, professional background, their hospitals where they work, their head of the department, and others. And those decisions are usually made with limited or no knowledge of clinical outcomes and obviously with limited or knowledge of economic costs. The way that hospitals are trying to deal with this problem today is by forming committees, introducing guidelines, using key opinion leaders and consulting firms. But at the end of the day, even those key opinion leaders, as strong as they are, these are usually people who see in various disciplines, 3,000, 4,000 cases per their career. We can see 300,000 or millions or data points within the data. The variation problem has a high cost, not only in nominal terms, but also in terms of disparities of care quality and operational complexities. And the opportunity to solve this problem is tremendous. If we were to reduce clinical variation for one clinical condition in an average US hospital, which is 300 to 400 beds, we would save $4 million per annum. If we were to reduce clinical variation for one clinical condition for a small size US network of 2,500 beds, that would be a cost savings of around $50 to $150 million, which is significant because as a percentage of their flexible budget, this is something like 25 to 30%. So what is the solution? Imagine that I'm going to break my hand and I'm going to seek treatment in one of the nearest hospitals around here. My digital twin, and I'm using non-scientific term, already broke their hand. Another Danny approached the hospital, and that Danny already received treatment, various types of treatment, with various types of clinical outcomes, with various types of economic results. And we use that data in order to provide recommendations in real time and on individual basis to myself when I'm approaching to receive treatment. What we're not trying to do is to change the clinical decision-making culture. We're trying to be another robust tool within the arsenal of the clinician in order to achieve maximum clinical outcomes at a minimized cost. Think of us as a clinical navigator, something like a Waze system that helps doctors to navigate the patient journey in real time and on individual basis. Our first use case is hip fractures. Hip fractures consist something like 14% of fractures in the US, but there are 72% of the cost associated. So this is a significant use case with lots of variability, with lots of opportunity to make a significant impact. But this is not the last use case. Our plan is to deal with something with 10 use cases in the next 5 years, and we are on the roadmap to achieve that. In terms of products, so I mentioned we are building the Clinical Navigator, which is going to help doctors to provide better care to patients, but we're also building a management suite for the hospital administrations. As we all know, hospitals usually have two main black boxes, the black box of clinicians and the black box of the administrators that nearly never speak to one another. And what we're building is a retrospective simulator that will allow them to run economic simulations, but with clinical data. Meaning that if, for example, in hip fractures, there are 7 to 8 cost components, we will be able to simulate them, try to reduce them, increase them, decrease them, and we'll see results not only in economic terms, but also in terms of clinical outcome. To sum up the differentiation, we have an extremely strong team. We have AI models strengthened by causal inference, proprietary technology, dual clinical and economic optimizations, real-time and individual recommendations, and dramatically reduce integration time with healthcare providers. We can do it in something like 3 weeks instead of 3 months, which is the norm in the industry. That's it. Thank you very much. No, it's something that is integrated in the EMR. Right now, actually, we're working with an external UX UI company, a vendor that helps us to design it. We will basically be a widget on an EMR that will light up when a relevant patient comes up according to the use case. So usually, in order to integrate with a hospital's data, this is a complex process that usually takes around 3 months, according to what we are familiar with in the industry. We have developed a proprietary IP that enables us to reduce that integration time dramatically. That's a wonderful question. This is exactly this is the fact that the hospital has constraints. So our system is built to respond both to clinician preferences. This is why I said we're not trying to change the decision-making culture. So if there is a clinical preference to make some step, then the system won't block it. The second is we're responsive to hospital constraints. Exactly. Not always I have a slot in the OR when I need it, but similarly when your Waze is recommended to go straight and you go right, then you optimize again, you recalculate according to your right move. Similarly with us, we will recalculate according to the constraint. We are not relevant, it's important comment, we're not relevant to the world of fee-for-service. We are specifically built for DRG and value-based care. Okay, that means that the provider is receiving a fixed cost amount for a specific condition. We are helping them to create a maximal gap between what they're getting and the cost. So, and in terms of what exactly we're optimizing, I can give you an example from the data where our current, two of our current investors are Sheba and Ichilov. Both of them invested $2 million into Project M until now. So we're looking at Sheba and Ichilov data. Hopefully I'm not going to embarrass someone here. But never mind which hospital, we look at hip fracture variance in cost. You can do hip fracture treatment for 10,000 shekels, and you can do hip fracture treatment for 50,000 shekels, okay? Obviously, want to be on the lower end.